gents, ladies.
David,
Good, thanks.
David, how does it feel when Ben Amafia comes out and defends the club and you so strongly?
Well, I think it's just an indication that we're strong, we're united. I think this is a great opportunity for us to get better. Collectively, you know, we've got some passionate shin boners, passionate members out there that want to see us improve and get better, and we're open for taking that feedback on board and moving forward together. That's what Kangaroos do.
History shows rebuilds are tough, and you've got to weather the storm.
Yep.
Are you confident you can get through this and whatever's to come?
Just so our members and our fans understand, I took this job on understanding that there will be difficult times. I'm here for the long haul. I want our club to be successful and strong. And all the things that get misreported outside are just not true.
What's been misreported, though?
Relationships with players, relationships with coaches. I was directed by the club to apologise. They are all untrue. Substantially untrue. So I wish people would stop reporting them because they're not true. I don't know how many times I have to say that our players are engaged, our players are moving forward, our coaches are terrific. I've got a great relationship with our coaches and where we're going. I've got a great relationship with the CEO and the board, understanding exactly where we're going. For the last time, we are moving forward together, and yes, it's challenging. And you know why it's challenging at times, guys? Because building high performance is difficult. Where we're building from needs to be rigorous. You need to have debate. You need to challenge. Players become unhappy when they're not in form and they're not in the team. We get that. We're clear with our information as to how you need to get better. But I'm here for the challenge and I'm not going anywhere.
So you haven't changed your approach or feel like you need to?
No. I mean, the piece around Brisbane, that's our reflection on how our environment works. We want to be vulnerable, we want to be open, we want to get ourselves to be better. If I can be better for our players and our players see that as an example from your leader, then that's what we need to have.
So you've run footy departments at a couple of clubs.
Yeah.
I think it would be fair to say that the external optics of 3 recruiters leaving speaks to instability.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
No, I don't agree with that.
Okay.
So Ben, let's just, and can I just say, those 3 guys have done an outstanding job for our club. Let's put that on the record. Both Ben, or all 3, Ben, Mark and Glenn, had great relationships with those guys. Ben's been studying to move into another industry, not being poached or leaving because he's not happy in some of the reports. Mark Finnegan's a high quality guy that has had several approaches over several recent years to be poached. Sometimes you lose good people, and Glenn has made a decision that he's made that decision, and we'll sit down with him in the right time, in the right framework to pull apart as to what his information is and how we can actually move better. So it's not ideal, Sam, I get it, but a lot of clubs do lose personnel at different varying times. It would be worse to lose 3 recruiters coming into the national draft a week before. So there are some worse times, I guess, if you like, that you could lose people.
So the old Lee Matthews theory of it's never as bad as it's never as good as it seems.
Totally.
This is just a perfect storm where 3, for different circumstances, have left coincidentally.
Yeah, and I think, well, certainly that's how I see it. I've spoken to all 3 guys, and I think that internally we've got a really clear plan. Now, no one here in this grouping picked us to win any games by this round. We are probably where we are based on all the journalists and the media thinking that's probably where North are going to be. So we're not happy with where we are from a defensive position. You know, we want games to be tighter. We're trying to work hard on our defence. We've had a mixture of personnel. We've played some pretty hot teams. So there's some reasons around why that actually looks like. But we're probably where we should be in the sense of our build. I want to win more games. There's nothing clearer. And we plan to win games every week. But it's where we are, and so now we've just got to make sure that we're collective, we're united, and we're strong, and we're moving forward.
So would you expect it to be this hard to rebuild North Melbourne when you accepted that job? At this point?
You don't take it on board thinking that it's all going to be, beer and Skittles. It makes the end result all the more sweeter when you work through these. You've got to create rigour. You've got to create debate. You need to understand that to create standards and an environment where success is maintained is bloody difficult. And where you start from, you've got to create that rigour.
Even though we were just saying before, so when you came in your first press conference, you said that Ben's ambition to be pushing for the top 4 within 2 to 3 years was a realistic ambition for this group.
Yeah.
Is it unrealistic now, or was it a bigger job than you thought?
No, I
what's
don't
changed in
think
that
it's
regard?
unrealistic. I think that the context of what Ben was saying is that some, and particularly where the age grouping that we had at that particular time, we've moved a couple on since then. So that sort of changed the dynamic. You sort of take 12 months to really work out. We just have to now get that step better, get it right, and move forward, in the right manner.
Why do you think the average margins are a bit worse than last year? Or what do you put that down to as coach?
So we're trying to put a system in place, and the execution of that system is difficult because it's all built on everyone functioning together. It's not a one-on-one, a man-on-man type of system, which is a bit easier to manage and to coach. We've had some holes sort of through our ground. I think where our mids are sort of running from a transition. It's probably 3 or 4 different things. And we haven't had any consistency with our defensive group together. To build that synergy for a Luke McDonald to understand what a Ben Mackay's going to do, to understand what a Kane Turner or a Bailey Scott's going to do. We haven't had the time to build that synergy so that their reaction time and their fluency of how they function together is instinctive.
So
it probably takes you 50-odd games, I reckon, to get that group together.
So are you prepared now for things to have to get a little bit worse before they get better?
No, we feel like internally, the measures that we're putting in place and the things that we're starting to tweak are coming to hand a bit better. We felt we defended for way longer better on the weekend. Some turnovers in the early part of that last quarter allowed Melbourne to sort of skip away and then create momentum. So we feel like we're making ground. It doesn't necessarily feel like that on the number, but we certainly feel like our structure and our execution of that is getting better.
You say the relationships with the players are good.
Yep.
If that is the case, then can you reconcile why someone like Jason Horne-Francis doesn't want to talk about contract extensions until...
Yeah, I can talk to his manager.
And what would he say?
It's not an unusual situation for a first-round player to not sign his contract. I've talked to Sam about that lots of times. That is not an unusual circumstance. I'm sorry, but that's not... I don't see that as an issue.
Can you clarify what happened over Mother's Day weekend, just because there's so many reports?
Yeah, he
going
went
around?
home to see his mum.
And the club knew?
No, you know the answer. That's been reported. The club didn't know that he went home. He didn't get into trouble. He wasn't suspended. We sat down with him and said there's protocols, because what happens if he's drug tested and he doesn't know his whereabouts, the club actually gets fined. So there's an understanding from an 18-year-old to go, oh, okay, I've got to report that. There was no issue with him going home. He just needs to let us know.
He's 18 years old. He's a first-year player.
He doesn't know.
He doesn't know, that's right. And there's a lot of rules that go into it. Have you met with him this week to sort of show him a bit of support? He's only a young fella and he's found himself pretty heavily in the spotlight this week.
No, I've spoken to him several times through the week just to check in and see that he's okay. He's a ripping young man. He understands that, there's certain elements that he's still learning that he's got to put in place. It's like filling in your diary every day. He doesn't come in and fill in that every day, like he should sometimes, and neither does Jack and neither does Aaron Hall and a few others. So they're just things that we're trying to create in our environment, again, to drive standards and to get that high performance going.
What you said really early, you talked about incorrect media reports around you being directed by the club to apologise.
Yeah.
So that's the part that's wrong? You did apologise, but it was off your own back?
Yeah, I said to the group, I reckon I went maybe a tad hard, right? I'm not sure if it was a while ago. I think Sam Mitchell got lauded for, being fairly direct, and I think that was this year. Is that right? Might have been last year. But so I get it, and there are certain times and circumstances where if players don't deliver performance, if I don't create a standard and create a direction that we need to take, then I'm not doing the job properly.
So you'll go hard again if you need to?
Yeah.